Hey everybody, it's Willfe here in the flesh. I wanted to chime in, I guess, for my very first video thing, whatever the hell this is, about the TSA and all these arguments and bickering going on about body scanners, the back scanner x-ray thing. The TSA acts like there's two options, two possibilities. You either get scanned and let a bunch of random people stare at your privates, or you get felt up in a deliberately embarrassing and humiliating pat-down. I'm one of those people that opts for a third option. See, I just don't fly anymore. I'm not a fan of flying anyway. It's kind of one of those freaky things I don't necessarily like, strapping myself into a big flying machine. There's something weird about it. It just doesn't feel right to me, but I deal with it. Well, I did. This latest set of nonsense from the TSA has just pushed me over the line. I'm going to be driving some 30 hours this coming holiday season to go visit my family out in Nevada. I live in Florida, so it's going to be a long drive. I'm okay with that. I can probably drive straight through it. Hell, I'm on Adderall. I can probably just take one of those and stay awake for 2 days straight anyway. What bugs me about this TSA stuff is just how few people seem to care about it. There are some that are just up in arms about it, just livid. They're protesting. They're staging national opt-out days that don't seem to do anything. But there aren't many of them. There's probably a very silent majority of people like me who just don't put up with this bullshit anymore and decide, I can take a bus, I can drive, take a train, any myriad of options. Myriad options available other than flying. Then there's the two other groups I can think of. The second most popular group is probably that, yeah, it sucks, but what are you going to do crowd. These are the people that think it's a bad idea to do all this scanning crap. They think it doesn't work. It's just a waste of money. But it's the government. What are you going to do? Those people need to step up a little bit, I think. Because there's another group, another very dangerous and frightening group, and that's the section of America, the pile of lunacy that actually believes that what's going on in airports today somehow protects us. Somehow makes us safer. It doesn't. There are people that will honestly argue with you that, hey, these scanners are important. It's really important that you stand there and let Sergeant Bob and Agent Smith look at your junk. See your breasts under your shirt. See your genitals. Stare at your crotch. Look at your whole body nude to make sure you're not harboring any evil, nasty bombs somewhere outside your body. There are people that will argue that alternative pat-down is a good thing. You deserve to be humiliated if you're just going to waste time. There's hundreds of people waiting in line behind you. It's not their fault that the TSA is doing this, so you're really just punishing those people. Bullshit. There's really no intelligent response to that sort of thinking. I don't know how to even communicate with somebody that reasons that way. I did see a post about this, and I think I even mentioned it on Twitter a little bit a couple days ago. Some woman was complaining about all these people that have the nerve to stand up for their Fourth Amendment rights and protections against unlawful search and seizure. That, pesky Constitution. Like my dad half-jokingly says, what the hell's that thing good for anymore anyway? A bunch of stuff, but I digress. There's genuinely people that think even stopping to complain about this stuff is a huge inconvenience, a huge bother. People that do this are time wasters. They're just making noise. They're annoying protesters. They're no better than those hippies back in the 60s that were protesting the Vietnam War. Even if they had a point, it didn't matter. They were dirty hippies. My dad served in Vietnam, and even he thinks it was a less than useful war. A lot of wasted lives, a lot of wasted money and resources, and it ruined a lot of families and didn't do a lot of good. He doesn't like how he got treated when he came back, and I agree with him on that. That was pretty shitty, but the war itself was blah. But even with participants in the system openly saying, hey, this is kind of pointless, this isn't helping, people still don't pay any attention to those protesting hippies. And it's easy to lump people today into that same category. Well, I don't like something my government's doing, and I'm going to say something about it. Filthy hippie! We see that reaction far too much, and it's a little depressing. I don't really know how far it has to go to get the average citizen to complain about this crap. I know that even 8 years ago, as the TSA took shape and the Patriot Act was first passed, and people started panicking about security at airports, there were people warning about this exact stuff. This particular thing. That, hey, guys, they're working on a way to see straight through your clothes. They're going to look at you naked as you go through security. This is going to get worse before it gets better unless we stop it. And back then, nobody did anything. Nobody said anything. People just blew it off like, it's no big deal. Here we are, folks. These people are subjecting us to doses of radiation. Significant doses of radiation. They say that 1 out of 16 million people that go through these scanners are going to get cancer, statistically speaking. About 560 million people a year go through these scanners, or fly anyway. So if every single person that flies goes through one of these scanners, we're handing out 16 cases of cancer every year. Congratulations, our security screening process is now more fatal and more dangerous, statistically speaking, than terrorists, even when you include September 11th. I don't know what to do anymore about the lack of response to this sort of thing. It's really scary that people don't care more than they do. I know many are going to watch this and wonder, what's your point? What the hell can I do about it? Well, obviously the first thing you can do is not fly. Just flat out stop flying. But don't stop at that. Tell your congressman, who won't care. Call them, you'll get an aide who will barely listen. They'll go, yep, thanks for the message, bye. Write a letter to your congressman, to your senator. You'll get a form letter back thanking you for your interest in American security, in national security or airport security, whatever, and it'll fall on deaf ears. Write to the airlines. Make sure they know. Sorry, I was going to fly to Vegas this year, but, you people in this stupid security crap, you're letting it happen, so nuts to you, I'm not flying anymore. And that's all you can do. You can tell your friends and family not to fly. You can tell them why you won't fly. You can have debates of your own about the subject. You can try to convince other people not to fly. These days, boycotts don't really have the power they used to because the scale has just climbed up too high. There's too many people, too many different suckers, too many victims. For every person that actually opts out and lets the TSA do their embarrassing pat-down crap, there's about, 100,000 people or so that are perfectly willing to let a machine peek at their undies. I'm not one of those people. You're not going to look at my junk, and you're not going to cop a feel either, just so that I can get on a flying bus. If the airline industry provided better service, if it were faster, if it were more reliable, if it were less intrusive on my privacy, I still wouldn't consider this kind of imposition on my person. No one gets to touch my junk, so to speak, unless they're a beautiful woman, but I don't want that to happen in an airport because there's usually more fun stuff that happens after that. I'm babbling. I just wanted to, speak up a little bit about this. Don't fly. Just don't put up with this crap. Argue with people if you have to, but the simplest thing you can do to protest the TSA behaving the way it is to stop flying. Just get in your car and go. You don't need a passport. You don't need a ticket. You don't have to show papers when you cross a border, and you don't have to go through stupid TSA security. Thanks for visiting Willfe.com. Hopefully I'll be recording some more of these. Hopefully the next ones will be shorter. Until then, Thanks, folks.